what up? This is Jeremy, Break Free Worldwide Podcast, episode number 3. My guest today, all the way from the Netherlands, my good friends from Notorious IBE, Tyrone and Mario. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
How y'all feeling today?
Good, bro.
Tyrone, this is your visit in Houston. How many times?
10 times, bro.
10 times.
10 times, yeah.
And then contrasting that, Mario, this is
First time.
very first time. I love it. You love it?
Yeah.
Nice, man.
Nice people.
Yes. So just getting right into things, the majority of our viewers are B-boys. They're in our scene. They're in our culture. But for anybody who's tuning in and doesn't know your guys' stories, or maybe some of the B-boys or B-girls out there don't know the history of you guys and how you started IBE and your roles, so you guys can just give a little brief. I know we could be here all day talking about that, but a little brief rundown of your history with IBE and your guys' roles in it. So
yeah, well, long time ago, like around 1997, I saw a videotape of Battle of the Year, and I wanted to go there with my friends, and some people around in the city told me that there's some B-boys that actually wanted to go, because I wasn't really involved into breaking, and they said, well, you should go to this place, this coffee shop place, and there's B-boys there. So I went there and said, and Mario was the first person there working at the coffee shop.
Oh, you was actually working at it?
Yeah, it was for my cousin, and I was working there.
Yeah.
So he stepped in, and
and this was in what city?
In Rotterdam.
In Rotterdam.
In Rotterdam.
Yeah.
And so we started talking, and then I said, oh well, if I have some people that want to go, and you have some people that want to go, then I'll organize a bus.
Mm-hmm.
And so I organized the bus to the Battle of the Year. Finding out that was the Battle of the Year National Championship and not the International Championship. But it was a good vibe, and 2 months after it was the International Battle of the Year. So again, we hooked up and started organizing things, and from there on, I was doing the bus trips and Mario, and then we formed the B-boy crew called 010 B-boys.
010?
010
was the city code.
Yeah.
City.
Nice.
Yeah.
Rotterdam
Nice.
City.
And
I didn't know that.
and then 010 B-boys, and then it came familiar with the coffee shop, the place. It was the hangout, and at that time it was really like a return of breaking to the Netherlands, because we had to get all our information from Germany, from France.
Yeah.
And so we basically started the crew, doing the bus trips, and then it led to the local music podium concert place called Nighttown that asked me to help out with the B-boy event, and I was the only one with a phone, a mobile phone at the time.
At the same time, he was also the manager of our B-boy crew.
Yeah.
He was the only one with a phone. So
So imagine. He's the manager.
He's the guy.
Yeah, he's the one.
So
And what year was this? This was
97.
Still
97, 98, yeah, and 98, around December 97.
Damn, so you was the one with the phone, not the pager. Everyone had the
For
For real, from 97?
97, yeah.
That says a lot about a person, though, for real.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
me, I changed my phone numbers a lot. I guess I'm that guy that's like, oh, he changed his number.
No, so that, and then it was the first episode of, the first festival of IBE in May 1998.
So Nighttown was that original
place,
Okay.
yeah. And basically we had all the main crews from Europe coming over, and it was really different than nowadays, man. I reached out to Battle Squad, that's a Swift Rock, Storm, Speedy, and they were like, well, we could chill at the coffee shop, or we will sleep wherever, Flying Steps, the Family, and I think it was all like new to people traveling over Europe, at least for us,
It was kind of the dawn of the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the beginning of all that.
So this is how we started to do the IBE, and later on the Dutch B-Boy Championships. That we started that in 2000.
I remember seeing footage of
The
that.
World B-Boy Classic in 2009, because our team got bigger. We expanded our team with Paul Van Daal, who's now Pro Dance TV, Nick Tra from the Ruggeds,
George Reinders.
yeah, and then we had like people at the office, like interns, and we grew like a good group of people.
Yeah.
and from there on, yeah.
So the first IBE was 97 or 98?
98.
98,
yeah.
Wow, so
20 years ago.
you saw Battle of the Year 97 and 97, and then basically like in a year's time you threw IBE?
Yeah.
Like, so you got inspired by that, and
Yeah.
within a year's time
Yeah,
you...
and I saw Star Elements there, battling against Southside Rockers in Germany.
It's crazy,
We
man.
were
Classic.
110 people on the bus.
On the bus.
Yeah.
You rented a bus?
But from
Two
the bus,
buses.
there were only a couple of B-boys, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
maybe 20 B-boys.
Maybe
Yeah.
20, yeah.
And the rest was just people
Yeah,
from
hardcore
Rotterdam.
hip-hop heads from
I think,
Rotterdam.
man, that's really dope to know, because for me, like, that shows, you know, for people who have never been to IBE, they, you know, when people who haven't been to IBE think about it, they think about the dope footage they see and the battles and things like that, but they don't see the stuff on the back and the educational components and like the giving back and, you know, doing all this for the community. And for me, that shows like you guys getting a bus and taking 100 people. That foundation of giving back to your community and education was there from the beginning, all those years later, and that foundation, the event, you know?
Yeah.
So if you guys can talk a little bit more about that, because I know everyone knows about the All Battles All and like the flashy stuff with IBE, but like I remember the first year I went out, I did a talk on business and breaking, you know, like I was a young kid and you guys flew me out to be on the Young Guns, but y'all also give me the opportunity to talk on a panel and things like that, and that's the stuff people don't see. That's unfortunately that's the YouTube clips that don't get that many views and things like that, you know.
True. And I think what people should know is that if they want to understand the IBE, where we're coming from, is that we saw all these videos of the American B-boy jams, and back in the day there wasn't the American B-boy jam was way different than nowadays, because I saw B-boy Summit, Pro-Am, Rocksteady Anniversary. Mario went there.
Yeah, I visited a couple of events like Rocksteady Anniversary,
in the late 90s.
Yeah, in the late 90s.
He went to
and
Pro-Am.
I had to see it, what's going on here, and you know, bring all the ideas and the energy back to Europe.
So the inspiration of a cultural...
that was a peak of USA.
Yes, so the inspiration of a cultural event versus more like a competition. And then the funny thing was the Nighttown venue, the people that worked there, the programmers that asked me to help them out, they were also coming from a festival background.
Okay.
So that venue had 3 rooms and 1 cafe, and there was a outdoor thing.
And where did the All Battles All take place?
That didn't take place at 97. It's only we integrated that in 2001.
But that was the same venue, right?
Same venue,
So like 2005 was the first one?
No, 2001.
2001.
Yeah.
So when you see that footage, what room is that in? Is that in the cafe?
That's in the main room. It's not that big.
Yeah,
it's only
a club.
It was 1,000 people could fit in. But of course, we used the middle of the dance floor, so that's like.
But I mean, I guess I started dancing in 2006, but I remember, I guess like the one IBE that was like the biggest one, like really started making noise was 2005, right?
Yeah.
That DVD.
Yeah. Actually, you know, the things with the All Battle All format, in '99, the Rock Force and the Family came to IBE. They came 1 week before the Battle of the Year, because in '98 they had battled the finals of the Battle of the Year.
Yeah, legendary battle.
Yeah, and it was a bit like controversy, because the judges took like an hour to debate, and then they came out.
Imagine that happening nowadays.
And they said like,
tough decision.
Although
it kind of makes sense though. Let me make my time. Let's talk about this, you know.
But they said which is a good thing. They said on the mic, they said, well, although Rockford was the better dancers.
I remember that,
because this video is going to go all over the world, and we won't, because there was some touching, you know, happening. And then they said we don't want people to get the wrong image of what our culture stands for.
Exactly.
They gave the prize to Family. Which is a bit of a shitty deal, because you know, because for Rock Force it wasn't really cool.
I mean, you guys are the better dancers, but no.
But
I remember that, man.
So they came to IBE the next year, because Rock Force came to Europe like a week or 2 before Battle of the Year, and Thomas and Thomas from Battle of the Year, we had a deal like, okay, they will come to Rotterdam first, And they came and they both said like, yeah, we don't want to, we're just going to cipher, we're just going to be there, we're not going to battle, we're not going to do any battles or whatever. And then of course, you know, I was doing a 2-on-2 battle on stage. I think Jeremiah or Elmer entered with Iron Monkey, and doing the 2-on-2. And we got to the second round, or I don't know, some part of it, you had to take a break. So we took a break, and I announced to everybody, like, okay, we're going to take a break, we're going to come back with a 2-on-2 battle, and then during the break, Bionic Man and Salah started to battle, a popping battle, you know.
Actually, it was not really a battle, just starting dancing, ciphering, and we already feel like something's going on, something's going wrong here. You know?
Yeah.
You have the friends on the other side and the other Americans on the other side.
It's bubbling up.
It's bubbling up, exactly.
And it turned out, you know, both crews got behind them, and it was the battle of, and Cross had it all on camera. So that made us, Cross really helped us in that sense, getting the footage out to everybody. And that was the first, well, the second Rock Force versus Family battle.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know that was at IBE.
It's at IBE, yeah. I'm shouting the whole time because I'm like way inexperienced as an MC, you know.
And we had to continue the program.
But we never finished the 2-on-2.
Really?
No,
because it just took over the whole event. And nobody was mad.
Nobody was mad,
man. See,
nobody was mad. Nobody was mad, and we were so happy, And that inspired me to do the all battles all, because I was like, whoa.
You saw like people repping their countries pretty much. And
going at it at a cipher, no judges, no time limit, no nothing, you know.
Yeah.
And the all battles all stands for All Star Battles All Star, or All Star Battle All Star. But also all the 3 crews or 4 crews, they have to battle each other once, at least once, you know. And at first, we started to do the teams. We had like a German team which consisted of like b-boys from 3-4 crews, and they made up their name, Killer Bees. And the French had a crew once called Paris Finest. But then later on it turned into like when the Koreans were able to, when they were coming to Europe, we programmed it as Team France, Team Europe, and Team USA.
That was
2004 we did that first, and then in 5 the Koreans.
And I remember it was 2004, the one with like Omar and
that was pretty hard though.
Yeah, that was crazy though.
It was really hard for me to, because it's not like nowadays, you know, with the communication and going, like, it's not easy. We had to, we had a friend that was working with us. His name is Amlink, and he was really good at swapping VHS tapes.
Oh, okay.
Or DVDs.
Which is a big part of the culture.
Yeah, the secret underground footage, you know?
Man.
And like in 2001, that's how we got to learn Machine, of somebody that made a little video, 10-minute segment of just cut and paste VHS footage of Machine. Yeah. And then when a person like that would come to Europe, people were like, who's this?
Yeah.
So actually it was also a surprise, you know?
Yeah.
You only saw a little footage, a little piece of footage of the person that we invite, and then we didn't know, maybe he's good, or is it all what we have
the
seen?
grainy VHS footage. It made him that much more impactful, you know. Nowadays everyone knows everything.
But not to, you know, because we're doing it ourselves too. We talk about the all battles all now, but actually, so the first IBE was already a festival with multiple programs, music. There was film programs, fashion show, yoga workshops,
debates,
For anyone who's never been there, I've been 3 times, you know, and for me it's different every time. But the foundational elements still remain of, you know, the educational components and literally like everything under the sun, everything that has to do with our culture, beat making, MCing, partying, you know, workshops, clothes, apparel, like everything is involved with it, you know. So
we try to, because, you know, throughout the years, at first I think the older community cultural jams like Rocksteady Anniversary, B-Boy Summit, they were representative of all of hip-hop, hip-hop's elements. But later on, when the culture was growing and growing, and the interest of people and what they do besides the dance also grew, we found out that there's b-boys actually teaching yoga. There's b-boys doing this. There's
sports.
Yeah, so we're trying to find all that's related to dance.
The unique things.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say that we're a hip hop festival, but we're more of a dance festival that tries to program all that's dance related.
Yeah, and it's literally a whole town.
Yeah,
Herlin, correct?
Yeah.
Which and it's the whole town is dedicated to the festival, and you literally walk through the town, and the areas are called ciphers. Correct?
Yeah.
Depends on ciphers.
Because we found out also if everything was called ciphers, it doesn't really tell you what's going on where. So we're playing with a little bit, because now over the last 2 years, we invite partners, organizations from the Netherlands or from outside that we think that they bring something extra to the table. We invite them, and then they can curate their own tent or stage or outdoor square. And so, like when Lilu has his street off concept, then we give him a little budget, and then he programs the entire day. And he more or less decides what he wants to do there, you know.
So you have different perspectives and different aspects in the organization.
Because it's very hard for us to focus on, 60-70 programs in 3 days.
It's too much.
And we need the people in the community.
You cannot do it alone. You need the community.
So 21 years next year, right?
21 years. Yeah.
And what do you have any plans that you could share now? Like, I know y'all still probably planning it, but
I was thinking a couple of artistic themes, and I would want to do something with Asia, highlight the Asian scene more. Get more of Asians, organizers or creative people from Asia. Because we know a lot about the b-boys, especially Japan, Korea, Taiwan. But there's good people there organizing. There's creative people, and that would be nice to see the Far East representing in IBE.
Dope. And you guys make it for anyone that wants to go. I know you guys make it very accessible, and have things you have a hostel for people to stay in. If somebody's wanting to go and they're on the edge, they don't know to decide. You guys offer a lot of things to help with their travels, internationally, right?
Yeah. It's actually the city that demands it from us.
Yeah, of course, and people always see us too, but there are more people working for IBE,
of course.
Yvonne. That's also in our team.
The thing is that
she does all the local stuff, for the facilities for people to stay in a sleepover. We have a big sports hall where people can sleep for a good price.
Because people say you take over the city, but it's also the city that helps us with it.
Of course.
So they give us special permits to make noise at certain hours. We actually clean up a parking space. So you imagine that day, the city that doesn't get any revenue from parking
because of the festival.
They block the roads, but it's the city, but also the state government and the national government that actually are saying to us, you got this great thing going on, but we're supporting you if you're able to share that with people from outside the community.
That's great, man. I would personally recommend for anybody who's in this culture. I know a lot of b-boys around there already have it on their bucket list and they dream of going to it, but make that jump, man, because I've never been disappointed every time I've gone.
Thank you,
man. And you guys can what the websites they can find everything at notoriousIBE.com, right?
Notoriousibe.com, yes.
And social medias as well, everything that. So 21 years, man.
21 years.
Yes, sir. I know we've talked about this in you know, off camera and you guys being around, and we discuss this a lot between Moy, myself, and you guys. But I like the conversations we have when we talk about European scene and European jams versus USA jams and the USA scene, and not to pit them together, but I think there's obvious differences and things that the USA can learn from European promoters, and European promoters can learn from USA promoters. So I wanted to ask y'all, like, what's y'all's perspective, and put it out there, like, how you view, you know, the current state of the European scene and the current state of, like, the USA scene, because you guys have your hand in both of them. You guys are both frequently. So what do you guys think is the main differences? What do you think they can learn from each other, and, like, moving forward?
The way how I look at it is like Europe is also different countries. Like Holland is just a small country, like France and UK, Belgium. So in every country is it's different. People always think like it's everywhere the same, but for instance, we get a lot of support from the government, and also from the local city. But I don't know how it is in other countries, like in UK, for instance. They have other rules there, so it's really hard for us to compare the organization wise, the funding wise in Europe and also in the States. But if I look at from a b-boy eye, the rawness, I like the rawness here
in the
more
States.
in the States, because it's a lot of ciphering, and sometimes I miss that in Europe, because a lot of dancers, they are really preparing themselves for the battle, and that's it. So I like the rawness more, and also the of course it's from here, you know, like so also there is no language barrier. Everybody speak one language, and in Europe it's different, because you have French people, you have people from Slovakia, you have people from Poland.
Because the country's so close, and traveling is easy.
Exactly. So that makes it a little bit less, but still, you know, like we all speak the same language, and that is dance, that is hip hop. So what's going on the dance floor, that's what counts. And bringing people together. So but I think you always can learn from each other. And like this weekend I was at Silverback, and it was my first time, and I heard a lot of stories from different kind of people. You know, the other ones liked more than the other one, but this time I experienced myself, and I had a really amazing time, because I didn't expect this. It was good.
The thing is that what you want is to, you know, if you analyze the differences, and you know why things are the way they are, then maybe there's something to learn about that, you know. So again, I think it would be nice to have more Europeans come to Europe, and have more Americans go to Europe. But there's a few things which you can learn from. Look, because we are 30 to 40 different countries in Europe. When you organize an event, or when you are a b-boy with your crew traveling, you have to overcome all these differences. Like language barriers already one thing, but cultural differences, and it makes it that the people in Europe, they are used to that, so they are more or less quicker thinking of like, okay, but if there's French people at the event, then maybe the #1 language at a Dutch event should be English. So it progresses a little bit on the quality of the event, but what we can learn from the Americans is that, because you don't have those barriers. Everybody speaks the same language, so there goes more attention into the artistic side of the event or the dance. And actually, there's a long history where you guys in US, you get that taught from your elders, you know, from the people before you. So there's a certain level of preservation. And then in Asia it's different, you know. They have others. So it's very culturally, but the world's getting smaller and smaller. So there's more blending is possible. But I do feel sometimes that in order to understand, like this, when I went to Break Free first time, and I came back, you know, so many times, I see the growth, but I see that the growth of your studio is a different kind of like progress or development than the hip hop schools in Europe. And there's reasons for it, you know. But sometimes people just think it's about the money, but it's not. It's also culturally. It's also, there's so many different factors that come into play. That's why I said I can only, if you really want to judge upon what we do as an IBE, you need to visit first, or you need to go, deep into what, find what we do.
Yeah. And
this is why this really helps, where we can actually explain, because we're not really vocal on internet. We don't really.
Your work speak.
Yeah, that's what the most what we do, Yeah. But there's this and then judging from that point of view, you should have to consider that you're we're 10,000 miles across the ocean, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And I try to. This is why I try to. Since I've come here to the U.S. more, because I got family living here, then I understand more.
Yeah.
And this is what Mario was saying, that when he went to Silverback first time, and then you find. I actually like the last edition of Silverback, especially the prelims, because it was more like a club vibe.
More efficient too.
More efficient,
More efficient.
Yeah. But you see that
by quicker.
Exactly, and you see because of the end 8 pre-selection on the screens, that is actually something that we dealt with in Europe, because back in the day I would be on the mic, and I would say B-boy R-line.
Shout out B-boy R-line.
Yeah, and he had R and then line, and nobody came. And then when we were finished,
True story.
At the end, he comes, "You don't call my name." I say, "Yes, here, R-line."
No.
So no, it's Erlin, because he's French, So that's
R-line.
And for the end 8 guys, to really work on that, on the screen.
Yeah, man.
And then at Silverback, you saw that implemented.
Yeah.
Because they have 700 B-boys.
Yeah.
So that's obviously something that can only be done in the U.S. So many people coming to the event, and then it's great to have that implementation already there.
Yeah.
So it's like something from Europe is really working well also in the U.S.
Yeah.
And I feel we could do that more.
Man, personally, like specifically with the judging system, I really enjoyed it, and I think what people need to consider, because everyone can say what they want, and you can even joke about it, like. For everyone who saw Silverback, they saw the percentages and all that. Yeah. And like I've had my fair share of jokes about that. Like it's funny when you think about it, like B-boys and percentages, and people want to say things like, well, you put percentages to an art and stuff like this, and they can make their complaints. But at the end of the day, what I like to understand and what I've come to, like with my maturity, is that there are certain things that exist and they're going to exist no matter what.
Yeah.
And you don't, like, if you don't have a part in it, and if you don't like it, like in your heart you don't support it and you think it's wrong, just don't, like, just take a step back, man. Don't enter or go, And like for the competitive breaking scene, as it gets bigger, and it's in the Youth Olympics now, and it doesn't look like it's slowing down, it's just going to get bigger and bigger. It's important to have a transparent system and an efficient system that logs it. And if you are jealous or bitter that somebody started it and you didn't, or there's something that, you know what I mean?
Well, everybody can start something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
you guys know that all too well, right?
Yeah, well, you should just start something if you feel like, but then don't just talk. Do whatever you want to represent and make it reality.
For real,
and
that is like the single biggest piece of advice I think for young b-boys in the scene nowadays.
Oh yes,
the thing is
because
also,
so many people get caught up in this.
Yeah,
and this.
The thing is also, Jeremy, like what you said is, I'm 100% agree with you. But the thing is also, people are afraid that we are taking something away of them.
Yes.
And
no, you're right.
It's certain things takes time when it is perfect, and certain things you cannot make perfect. You're always gonna have the argument. You're gonna agree or disagree.
Always room for improvement.
Always, but I think at the end of the day, everybody do it with a good heart.
Yeah.
And that is important.
Yeah.
And sometimes it might work, sometimes it don't work. And there always gonna be somebody who come with a good idea or with something new, and you have to give it time and space to try it out.
Yeah.
Because the break-in's gonna be there for sure.
And we talked about this in our first podcast. Is that me and Moy, we have garages in our houses. and that's our place. Like, as long as we have a garage, we're gonna dance.
Yeah,
exactly.
We have a student. As long as we have this, we have students.
Yeah.
You know, there's never gonna die. One last final question for you guys, coming from a perspective of, you know, you guys can be billed as promoters, but I think you know, most importantly, you guys are figureheads, and you can be inspiration for dancers and promoters alike. Personally, I would say too, you know, if you hear the story of, you know, what y'all told about IBE, how you were inspired from one video, and in a year's time you threw your first event, and then 20 years later, 21 years later, it's into this international phenomenon, this dream for b-boys to go to. So, you know, promoters, artists, people involved in this culture, what would be your message for youth if you could, you know, wrap it up into a short summary that you I know you could go a long time about it, but how would you inspire youth? What would you say for young artists, young dancers, young professionals out there?
Should I start? Yeah. What I would say is like, listen to each other. You know, you don't have to agree always with somebody, but listen to what somebody say, and I mean listen. And keep following your dreams. You know, it sounds a bit cliche, but write it down, speak it out. So many things that I've done in the past, I say to Tyrone, like, yo, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to go to Texas, and I'm here. I want to go to Break Free, I'm here, you know.
Yeah.
Speak it out and see you already there. You see yourself sitting already there. Pretend like it's already there, and to follow your dreams, you know. That's what I want to say. And respect each other. What you give, you get back. Maybe I give him something, I don't expect nothing from him, but maybe I get something from you, and that's how it works.
A circle.
Yeah, a circle. So that's my advice.
Yeah.
And have fun, you know.
And I would say, you know, the creativity or the urge you feel to need to move or to dance, you know, that you have inside, that don't let anything, you know, stand in your way of not using it, you know. And I see when kids are young and they automatically start dancing, and their parents are like, oh, I don't know where he or she got it from, but all of a sudden the kid was standing on his head, you know. That's a natural thing within us.
Yeah.
And to move or groove or whatever you want to call it. And because it's in all of us, there's so much, you know, we can talk about it all day and every day. And that sometimes it wears you out, because this guy has this opinion and this person has that opinion, this view or this, you know, and one person is really progressive about it, another person is really protecting, and there's controversy, there's drama, but there's, you know, try to always find balance with the good moments. Actually let the beautiful things prevail, and see the bigger picture, you know. See, like, a b-boy jam is a b-boy jam, a hip-hop dance jam is a hip-hop dance jam, but if you see it as a gathering, or you see it as a group of people and individuals from different places coming together,
expectations are
it's all of it, you know. So you can also explain things a different way. But the more you focus on things that are just details, because, you know, people say, watch the details, but know when to watch the details, and know also when to look at the bigger picture. And that's very important, because like Mario said, it's so many different people, so many different individuals, and you need to don't forget that even if someone's we're all called b-boy or b-girl or DJ or MC or promoter, we're still different humans. You know, and that's sometimes what I feel that people forget. You know, like we're talking English right now, and we're really trying really hard, because that's not our language. You know, we speak Dutch. We live 10,000 miles from where you are. You know?
Well, would you, like, because of hip-hop culture, you're able to...
But don't forget that, because it's very special for us to be here at this time right now. So if I have to have a debate with you about you being real or not real, or you being your style of b-boying is not dope or whatever, then I think I'm forgetting that you have a totally different background than where I come from.
That's a great point.
That we don't even speak the same language. That your cultural background or your whatever you believe in is totally different. That should be on the forefront. So then I would have more respect about saying these things right now as like, oh yeah, people, Jeremy, yeah, he puts his leg like this, I don't like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is what people, I'm not going to tell you.
Coming for y'all, bro.
You understand what I mean? And that should be because that should be always on your mind.
Yeah.
Have respect. This guy's coming all the way from China. Oh my God. You know?
You don't know what he did to come there, to get there. You know,
and and
put himself in a family position.
Exactly.
You never know.
Exactly. So that's just like, this is, and in order for you to experience that, because it was an advice to young people, travel.
No.
Travel. Don't matter. Bike, skateboard, you know, swim, fly, meet people, travel.
Don't be afraid to travel.
Yeah.
And don't let that get you down. If you don't have any money right now, you don't have any resources right now, if you're in a bad situation, keep persisting and things will change. But traveling and meeting people is the most important and most beautiful thing of our culture.
Yeah. Beautiful, man. Thank you guys for your time. Always a great time with y'all. Notorious IBE, 21 years in 2019. The website, notoriousIBE.com, right?
Right.
Yes.
And then your social media?
Nope.
Much love, guys. Go grab some barbecue. Enjoy Houston.
Thank you.
Break Free Worldwide. Check out podcast episode number 4 coming up this Tuesday. Much love, y'all. See y'all next time.
Thank you, Moy. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh. Yeah, man.
Yes.
Again.
That was a good one.
Yeah.